Hi, this is The Greatest Story Ever Played. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
And today we're doing our 100th episode spectacular, I guess. So it's been 100 episodes. And so the main portion of this is an Ask Us Anything. And you guys had sent questions in, which is awesome, super cool. But crazy to be here, 100 episodes. I didn't think this back when we started.
Yeah, no, I mean, to be honest, at this point, it just feels like we've been doing this podcast forever. So it's kind of like, which is, I mean, not in a bad feeling, not a bad way. But yeah, it's kind of surprising, too. Like, I just, didn't think we'd get this far.
No, yeah, not at all. I don't think there's very many things that I've done 100 of, like, consistently for a while like this kind of thing. So it's pretty cool to be here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I remember thinking back at, like, episode 10, we're like, oh, all right, double digits, this is crazy. And now we're, 10 times that.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
That really is. It's pretty crazy having that. And so this is pretty exciting. We're excited about this. And, of course, too, we're really thankful that you guys have been here for this, journey through all these video games with us so far. It's been a lot of fun getting to share these games with each other, and it's been great to get to share them with you also, and hear your thoughts that people like what we're doing and stuff like that. And I don't know, that's really cool. I haven't been I haven't done anything that's of quote unquote this magnitude, so to speak, which makes it seem like it's a big deal. It's not, but just that, like, I don't know, that other people like hearing what we have to say about video games. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising. Yeah, because these are, like, just conversations we'd have together anyway. Maybe not as, like, detailed, or as planned, but it'd be similar. So, yeah, just it's cool that people like to hear what we say and think about random video games.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's super cool. So, yeah, thank you again for being part of this. We super appreciate it. It's been really fun. And so, with that, kind of the way we decided to structure this episode for it is kind of almost a past, present, future, so to speak. So first we'll hit up the past, so to speak, and we'll talk about our favorite games that we've already covered on the podcast so far. Then we'll do the quote-unquote present and just do the Ask Us Anything. That will probably be most of the episode. And then to wrap up, we'll talk about 3 games we'd like to see done in the future of the podcast, what we'd like to have come up later. So that's sort of the plan. Yeah, we're excited to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. So, I guess first up then. This is a question we also asked to you all on Twitter, but is, what are your 3 favorite games that we've covered on the podcast so far? I can go first. So I thought about this in a couple different ways for my 3. So the first one I decided to put down was The Walking Dead Season 4, the final season. And I think that this could be replaced with Life is Strange 2 for similar reasons, but I liked Walking Dead more, so that's why I got it. But it was really fun doing this live, so the episodes were coming out as we recorded on them, so it felt like each time for the months in between, we were like, okay, what's going to happen next? And getting to kind of speculate and enjoy that all together, it was really cool. I really, really liked that about that game, and thought that was a lot of fun. The second one I chose was Detroit Become Human, and I think a big part for this was how Jordan and I used to play video games, which is we'd be in person together and trade the controller back and forth. And we did that with Detroit. It was a lot of fun, and was really reminiscent of those older times playing. So I really liked that for that, so that gave it that spot. And then the last one I chose was Horizon Zero Dawn. And this one is just because it's my favorite game, and I don't think I would have played it if we weren't doing this podcast. I think that's probably true of most of these games, but since this one is my favorite also, it takes the cake, because I think I probably would have only played a few of these games if we didn't do the podcast. I don't know if I would have ventured too far. So
Yeah.
those are my 3 favorites and why.
Yeah, this is a random question. Did you buy your PS4 before we started podcasting?
I did.
Okay.
I bought it, I think maybe the year that Walking Dead Season 3 came out. And so I got it to play that kind of, and I'd heard about Until Dawn being similar to Walking Dead. So, which it sort of is. It's more like Detroit because it has the branching paths. But so I got those two, and I got Madden all in there. And I was like, I know I like Madden, and these I knew I like Walking Dead, and this sounds like it's like Walking Dead. So that was sort of how I got a PS4. But we maybe started this podcast maybe within a year of that, though.
Okay, yeah, it's been a long time, so it's hard to remember that. Okay, yeah, I mean those three make a lot of sense. Yeah, the Horizon Zero Dawn I know is your absolute favorite game.
Oh yeah,
yeah, which I definitely will play it someday whenever I have a PS4 or PS5.
Oh, actually, also it's coming to PC soon. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, you may have your chance if your PC is doable.
I have a Mac, so I don't...
Oh, probably not then.
Yeah, it's probably not a thing. Yeah.
Bummer.
It's also a work computer, so I probably can't make it work.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Oh well, I'll just buy a PS5.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, so my 3 favorite games we've covered so far. I went a little bit different. I think I went just... like some of my just favorite games that we've played. Just objectively, these are my favorite ones.
Yeah.
So I have The Last of Us, and this is just one of my all-time favorite games, and I loved talking about it. I think it's like one of those games you just you remember every detail, and I just had so many thoughts and feelings and was excited to talk about it. So that was one of my favorite games we've actually podcasted on as far as like the episode, but also one of my favorite games we've played. Next, I put Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and this one, I just liked the game a lot. I mean, there's definitely things that I think I would have added or changed to it, but I think I was just blown away by the fact that EA made a really good non-microtransaction-y Star Wars game. It really brought me back to like Force Unleashed 1 and Force Unleashed 2, and I love playing this game. It's great. And lastly, I put Detroit Become Human for the similar reasons that you put it. I think just being able to play it together and talk about it as we played, and like both kind of be like, what the fuck is happening? And then seeing the branching story paths. Like I think the whole thing, it just brought me back to when we were in my basement playing The Wolf Among Us, like, man, what was that, 6 years ago?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, 5 years ago maybe. Like it just kind of brought me back to like how we first started playing games together. So that just hits me in a special place. But also the game's really cool, really really well done.
Yeah, no, that's a good list. Yeah, Last of Us, fantastic. I really like Star Wars too. That was great having a good Star Wars game happen. Not microtransaction-y. To me, it's probably one of the best, like, 3 Star Wars contents to come out in the last, 10 years probably or something.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
video games, TV, anything.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Movies are,
yeah,
in my opinion, not too great. The past 3 aren't great, but...
Yeah. They're all right, but they're at Jedi Fallen Order, I definitely enjoyed more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this was actually kind of hard because, easily could have put Life is Strange on there or Walking Dead Season 1 or Season 4. I mean, there's a lot of really good games we played. Even like Bioshock. I think there was... I was tempted to put Bioshock or Bioshock Infinite on there. So yeah, I think we've had the luxury of getting to play some really good games.
Yeah, totally agree. I feel like we've surprisingly gotten to play basically all good games. Like, I haven't had too many where I was like, man, it was all right. Like, a lot of them have landed pretty well, which is cool. That's super nice.
Yeah, hopefully that continues.
yeah, I agree. I hope that the next 100 is also filled with good games. Next we've got from Nikki on Twitter, who says, my favorite games would be Mass Effect, Red Dead Redemption, and all of the Life is Strange for games we covered. But then she goes on and says, favorite episodes, though, could be a little different. What Remains of Edith Finch, that motivated me to play this great game. Captain Spirit was the first episode I got to know your podcast from. And Top Books from 2018, this was an interesting change. Good comment. I like that kind of bringing both sides of games I really liked, but also just episodes in general. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And also, fully agree. Play What Remains of Edith Finch. It's so good. Best walking sim that I've played so far. So go play that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Let's see. Daniel on Twitter said, as far as games go, he said Uncharted 2, Lost Legacy, and Horizon Zero Dawn. Is Lost Legacy an Uncharted game?
Yeah, it is. Correct.
Okay. Is that the fourth one?
Fifth one. So it's sort of. I guess it was going to be a DLC for 4, but then they just made it into a game. So, and it's big enough to be a game, so it wasn't like cheating.
That's good. Here's a 20-hour game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then he also said his favorite stories are Before the Storm, Detroit Become Human, and Edith Remains of Edith Finch. I really butchered that. Sorry. And Life is Strange 1.
Yeah. So that's a good list of games. Up there with us with Detroit for sure, and getting a lot of Life is Strange love in there, which of course has been a big part of this podcast for sure so far.
Oh yeah, definitely. Kind of one of our cornerstones.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you were gonna say the cornerstones of this podcast, Life is Strange is definitely one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Jacob on Twitter who says, Resistance, Fall of Man, Kind Words, Lo-Fi Chill Beats to write to, and Game Dev Story. Great picks, love small games. So these are actually all ones that I just played and did episodes on. And yeah, small games, great. I really like that we've gotten to hit a variety of games, like your big AAAs and stuff that we've done, but then also a lot of indie games. I feel like we've surprisingly had a decent balance of both, to be able to do your Animal Crossings and Red Deads, but also doing small stuff like Emily is Away or, whatever. That's been pretty cool, and it's something I've really liked with this podcast for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like if it wasn't for the podcast, I probably wouldn't have played games like Emily is Away, but I also really have enjoyed the games we have played that are indie and smaller that I would have never heard of. Mm-hmm. They're really good. Yeah, I'm really glad that, these smaller indie games, I definitely wouldn't have heard of them either without the podcast, and me just kind of trying to dive deep into the internet and Reddit and shit like that of okay, what are story-driven games I might like? I like these 8 games. What else might I like? And just looking into everything, uncovering all the stones kind of thing. And yeah.
That's led to a lot of cool games to find, which is really awesome, and I'm glad that the podcast has motivated me to play them.
Yeah, same for sure. Next we got Mark on Twitter. He said Oxenfree, Night in the Woods, Emily is Away. Those 3 immediately spring to mind for him. Yeah, Oxenfree, that was one of our first games, right?
I think it's episode 1.
Oh shit! Nice. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then Night in the Woods was really fun too, and so was Emily is Away. Actually, those are 3 really good indie games. That, speaking of indie games, there you go. There's 3 that I would probably not have played.
Yeah, not at all. If I wouldn't have, if we weren't doing this, I don't think I'd have played any of them. Maybe, or maybe Oxenfree, because I saw that as a if you like Life is Strange, you might like this. But again, really cool. Those are awesome games. And, podcast got us there.
Yep, good list.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Last up, we've got Geiga on Twitter who said Spider-Man, Life is Strange, and Uncharted 3 or 4.
I still need to play Spider-Man.
Yeah, you do. That should be... once you have a PlayStation console, PS5 probably, Spider-Man should be maybe second, right after Horizon Zero Dawn, in my opinion. But
Of course.
Yeah, of course, I'd say that. But I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's in my like top 10 games for sure. I loved it. It was so fun. Fantastic game for sure.
Yeah, I definitely want to play it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, okay, so that covers our quote-unquote past section of favorite games so far. So this will move us into our Ask Us Anything. So this has, of course, a variety of questions. A lot of them are video game related, but some of them are not. So I think what we'll do is just kind of go back and forth with the questions and, probably both answer them or, whatever. So also, rather than just reading each question and saying who did them each time, instead, I just made one big thank you list. So I'm going to do that first. So people who sent questions in, thank you to Games and Groceries, Thoughts from Player 1, Daniel, Nikki, Ben, Mark, Absolute Prodigy, Callum, and Diggity Donk on Twitter. Thank you, all of you. We really appreciate you sending in questions, and that was super awesome. So thank you.
Yeah, and thanks just for continuing to listen to us talk about random things.
Oh, yeah, totally. Okay, so first question is, would a dog wearing pants have 4 or 2 leg holes?
I've thought about this before. It's for sure 4.
For sure 4? Yeah, I guess.
For sure.
What?
Has to be.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Because with 2, it just feels like that's, like it would have to be a cartoon dog. Who's like, who walks like on its back 2 legs kind of thing.
Yeah. Because pants are for your legs, and dogs have 4 legs. Therefore, it would have 4 leg holes.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. It does seem like it would be weird, though, if a dog had pants with 4 legs, but then they also have a shirt on the top of them. That seems a little odd. So maybe they just don't wear shirts? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know how that would just look really weird.
Yeah. I guess actually though with 2, if it was still 2 legs, I guess the problem still exists because you probably put them on their front legs or on the back. Oh no.
I say back 2 if you're doing 2 legs because the front 2 have to be arms.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. So the back 2 would have to be the pants and the front would be the shirt if it were to wear both. I'm with you, though. I think you're right. 4 legs is probably the right call.
Yep. I think you just draw a line or like across the dog in the middle, and the bottom half is the pants, and the top half is the shirt.
If you were doing 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree with your logic.
Yeah, I've thought about this before. I don't know why, but I have. Cool. Okay, next question is how long have you known each other? Do some math on this one.
I was going to say maybe like 10 years?
I think longer than that. I'd say 12 years.
Because we probably met when you were like 18?
Yep, and I'm maybe 11 and some change because I'm 29, but I'll be 30.
Okay.
And you're 32.
Yep.
So probably like 11 to 12 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yes, so we've known each other quite a long time, and
very long time.
Got to be roommates for a while, which was great until I got married, and then I lived next door for a year.
I forgot about that.
And a shitty apartment. Yeah, and a shitty apartment that was like $500 a month or something. It was like a small box.
Yeah, you had two bedrooms.
Yeah, right. I had 2 bedrooms in my small box.
Yeah, in a kitchen, and a living room, and a bathroom, and a closet.
Yep.
That's like all you need.
Right. Definitely all I needed then, for sure. But yeah, so a long time, which is awesome. Really great.
Yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of changes in the 11 years.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Lots of change from being me, a young 20-something, and you, a late teenager, to being adults who have careers and are married and all of that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome. It's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we've got would you rather be a player, a coach, or a general manager for your favorite team for any sport? I think I would choose general manager of the Cleveland Browns. I would like to think that I could run things somewhat more functionally than they've done so far. And also, like, I'm a huge nerd, so when it comes to, like, Madden, I love franchise mode and not even playing the games, but creating teams. So I feel like that fits me.
Mm-hmm. Ah, man. I would not want to be a coach. That seems too stressful. I guess I'd say player. Yeah, I'm gonna go with player. And I would pick the Cleveland Browns as well. But to be honest, I think I'd go, if I can pick my specific position as a player, I'd probably go like kicker or something. Because you don't really like, your body doesn't get as destroyed as other positions, and you can play longer, and you don't make as much each year, but it's, if you're a good kicker, you make a fair amount of money. Or punter, even. I'd take punter even, whatever.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think I'd for sure be a player, but like in a non-crazy contact position.
I like that. That's a good idea. I feel like that would be a good way to make a lot of money, but not ruin your body.
Yeah, but yeah, be able to live long enough to use the money on something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I always feel like if I were given the athletic ability, I would love to be like a backup quarterback for, like 15 years in the NFL. Something like that.
That'd be awesome.
Because you probably won't get hurt because you don't play enough. You'll occasionally play and people will be like, oh, is he actually good? And then make a lot of money. And then, just know the playbook well and like mentor people. That'd be great. I feel like
that seems pretty good.
Yeah, I would totally. If I were to be a player, that is totally what I'd want. Have minor moments of glory, mostly by being but then mostly be in the background and make money.
Yeah, unless you're like too good, because
Yeah.
you have to be starting quarterback somewhere else.
Right. Yeah, I'd want to be.
Well,
like,
I guess you don't have to. You could just turn him down and be like, "Nah, I'm going to stay at my team."
Yeah, if I could be like Josh McCown, that'd be great.
Yeah, just a pretty good quarterback, but not that good.
Right.
But he's had some good games, good years, kind of.
Right. Yeah, good moments at times, but better as a backup most of the time, kind of thing. Like that would be not bad.
Yeah. That's a good. I feel like that'd be second on my list. Maybe first. Maybe above kicker. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, next question is top 5 craft beers that you've had. Oh, shit. I read yours, too. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It's fine. Dude, this is hard. I don't even know what's considered a craft beer nowadays.
That's fair. I think it would be anything that's not like, your, like, Buds, Coronas, Sam Adams of the world.
Okay, I got you. All right, I'm going to go with, and these are not in particular order, and I don't know if it's going to be 5, so that's a preface. But
Fair.
Seventh Son Brewery has it's a brown ale. I think it's called, it's like, it's either nut brown or oat brown.
Okay.
I like that a lot, a lot. Let's see. Wolf's Ridge has a, it's an ale. It's like a vanilla, it's like a vanilla cream ale. That's really good. I forget what it's called. Maybe Clear Sky or something like that.
Okay.
Those are both good. Would you consider, the Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale? Is it a craft beer?
I think I would.
Okay. They have, I like that, but their vanilla, I don't know if it's a vanilla porter they have is really good.
Oh, nice.
And then Breckenridge Vanilla Porter is like my favorite beer of all time. So that's up there. And I'm gonna cheat here. I don't think Guinness is a craft beer, but I'm gonna say Guinness.
No, yeah, I don't think it's a craft beer either, but I know you love it.
It should be. It's crafted by the masters.
No, that's good. I like that. So that also the we used to make those. Here's a drink tip that you should try if you can. It's called a Queen Velvet, and it's a Breckenridge vanilla porter mixed with a Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale. It's so good.
Yeah, but we did that
because we used to drink those back in the day.
Yeah, and you mix them so that there's almost like a line in the middle of the beer, and like one's on top, one's on the bottom. I forget which goes where, but
I do too.
Yeah, it's really cool looking.
Yeah, similar to a Black and Tan, but way better. Yeah, that was super good.
Way better. Yeah.
My 5, I'd go with Rhinegeist Truth. Also not in order, but Rhinegeist Truth, that's an IPA from a brewery in Cincinnati. Platform has one called Speed Merchant, which is a white IPA. They're out of Cleveland. I had a beer from somewhere. It's called Clown Shoes, and it is a half IPA, half sour. Really like that. I found that one place in Cincinnati, so I haven't had it since. But it was fantastic. It was so good. It got me into sours. I like sour beers now also, but I'm a big IPA guy. Psychopathy from somewhere. I forget where that's from. I think it's another Cincinnati place, but Psychopathy is really good. Zombie Dust. I like Zombie Dust quite a lot too. That's a classic. The movie theater Jordan and I used to watch Walking Dead at had Zombie Dust, and it was not in Ohio until like a month or two ago, and it used to be just like sporadically around. But the movie theater we used to watch Walking Dead at had Zombie Dust, so I'd always get it there. It was great.
Yeah, those are awesome times, man. Back in, show up a little bit early, drink a beer, hang out, and watch Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It's great.
Fantastic. Also Barley's. There's a place in Columbus called Barley's that has a beer called Bloodthirst Wheat, which is their like Blue Moon essentially, but it's better than Blue Moon. It's really good.
Yeah, I agree.
It's super good. I like Blue Moon, but Bloodthirst Wheat is even better. So I'll go with those. If any of you are ever in Ohio, definitely send in beer questions if you want good bars to go to. Columbus surprisingly has a lot of good bars. And like good like craft brewery stuff. So
yep, and just a lot of bars also. Mm-hmm. So it's easy to get tricked into thinking you're going to a good bar, but it's not good.
That's true too. BrewDog Elvis Juice. I really like that too. That's an IPA that I love.
I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna add BrewDog Jet Blackheart. It's like Guinness, but it's maybe better than Guinness, which is almost impossible, but it might be.
That's awesome. That's great. You can do the next question. Sorry.
Okay, since you stole my last one.
Yeah, since I stole it.
Okay, what are your favorite songs / music artists? Man, I hate questions like this, because I feel like I don't remember song names.
Sure.
And I just listen to like 30 different artists, and I just know a song that I like, and I listen to it.
Sure.
You go first.
I was gonna say I could go first. What do you think? Well, I really like emo music that I liked when I was like, I don't know, 20 to 25. So Brand New's my favorite band. I really like Say Anything, Taking Back Sunday, any of that stuff from that era of music. I really like. I'm super into it. I also music that I've been finding from like video games. I'm really into like a lot of the Life is Strange soundtrack. I listen to a lot. I used to be a huge fan of Rage Against the Machine, and that's come back into order. I like that. I used to be a really big Eminem fan, and I still like him a bit, for sure. Or like Dr. Dre was into that. So, also I like quote unquote maybe shitty pop music, as some might describe, like totally down with like Katy Perry or Kesha or something like that. So I'm pretty open when it comes to music I like. Basically, as long as it's not country, I'm willing to try it out. I don't like country. I've found that I'm not into it. Like, I've tried enough different ones, and that's not my thing.
Yeah, I'm really similar there. Cannot get in the country. I've listened to some. There's like, every 100 country songs, I'm like, okay, that's not bad, but most of them I don't like. But yeah, let's see. I like Blink-182 a lot. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I like Eminem. I like A$AP Rocky a lot. I like Kanye. I like Jay-Z. I like Drake, unfortunately. I'm ashamed to say that. I used to hate Drake, like, I don't know, 6 years ago, but I like his music. It's good music. I think
he's catchy. It's fun. It's sort of like some of the Justin Bieber is fun, even though you don't like that you like it.
Yeah. Yep. Kind of guilty.
Right.
Guilty pleasure. I like Rick Ross too, even though he's the fakest rapper of all time, but he's good. Man. I like J. Cole a lot. I think he's probably the best rapper I listen to. Man. Yeah, so a lot of what I like is rap. And I'll listen to other random alternative music that I just find a playlist of and play it. Oh, and another, like, big type of music I've been listening to is lo-fi, hip-hop music. So there's, like, 24/7 YouTube channels where you can just play lo-fi hip-hop music. I think Chilled Cow has... he's like the guy who makes a couple that I listen to pretty often when I work. So that's not necessarily an artist or music or a song. It's just a genre.
No, that's good. You should. I think it's maybe like $5 on Steam, but there's a website or a game that got mentioned earlier. Kind words, chill lo-fi beats to write to, and what it is it's people like write letters to each other back and forth, and it's like anonymous, but there's just lo-fi beats that go while you write, and the soundtrack's killer. Maybe you should even just look up the soundtrack, but the game's pretty cool. Also, is you're just like giving people advice or people give you advice. But I played that a couple months ago, and lots of the chill life lo-fi beats were great.
Yeah, I love that genre. It's so relaxing. You can like do anything and play it, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, that's like perfect music to work to, for sure. Mm-hmm. Nice. Next up is what led you to make this podcast? Well, first was we had an old podcast on a show called The Mist, which is available on Netflix. And it's
don't promote it. Don't you dare.
It's not great.
Don't promote it.
I was gonna say it's not great. So continue at your own risk, I guess. But we made that podcast. I think in part because we were like, oh, podcasts are like, they weren't new, but they weren't popular yet back then. And we were like, oh, maybe we could try this out. And like, I really liked a Walking Dead podcast and thought that it was really fun to have a community around something that I like. And so maybe we can make that again. So, maybe that could exist somewhere else and I could be a part of it, sort of thing. So that's what got The Mist started. Then what got this podcast started was, okay, The Mist got canceled. It was a summer show, so it came out in June. And I don't know, maybe ended in August, but maybe by October it was already canceled.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Yeah, it was pretty fast. And so that led us to a spot of like, what do we want to do? Do we want to make a Stephen King podcast? Do we want to make another podcast? because The Mist is based off a Stephen King short novella, or do we want to just not podcast and that was fun and we tried it out kind of thing. And so while we were thinking about that, I played Life is Strange for the first time and was like, this is sweet. This is like Walking Dead that we already played and we liked, kind of. Maybe we could make a podcast out of this. And I feel like then Jordan was like, yeah, that seems like a good idea. I want to try it out. And that's how we got here. That's sort of my experience. I don't know if your experience was different or other thoughts.
No, I think that summarizes it really well. Yeah, to be honest, if The Mist had been good, we'd probably still be podcasting on that right now.
That's true. Yeah, if that show had worked out and was good, I bet that's what we would be doing now. Like if it was on like season 3 now or something, I bet that's what we'd do.
Yeah, and I'm honestly really glad it didn't work out. It sucks for the actors and people that got paid to do it, but I would much rather talk about video games and play video games and talk about them with you than I would to watch a TV show. I do remember very clearly we were in your apartment, we were talking like, all right, so the Miss is dead. What are we going to do? And then we might have thought about it for like a week. And then you suggested the story-based games. I was like, yep, I'm in. I think that was kind of, and we just kind of went from there.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. And I agree. I think I'm glad that we got, I am glad we got here. I've definitely enjoyed a lot of these games way more than the TV show. I think the TV show with the week-to-week was really fun. I did like that. Like that had some of the Life is Strange 2 or Walking Dead final season like feelings to it, because it was like each week we were wondering what was next, which was pretty fun. But content-wise, all in all, I'm glad we got where we are.
All right, so next up is, how has doing this podcast changed your life / views on things? That's a deeper question.
I guess one easy one off top is I've played way more games than I ever would have.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I have too. I think it's also made me appreciate like small game developers more. Like Emily is Away or Night in the Woods or man, what was that? I forget the name of the game. It was like an old like 64-bit, looked like a Game Boy Advance kind of.
Oh, To the Moon?
Yeah, like games like that. Like it was really fun. Yes, things like that. I think it made me realize like you don't have to be, a AAA, Bethesda or something like that to make a good game. You can be a dude in your room with a computer in a vision for a game. So I think it just gave me a lot of appreciation for people like that just have an idea and they want to do it.
Yeah, I think that's really true. Is definitely appreciate all of those things, and I think that even related to that is that every game that comes out, someone likes them. Like there are people who worked hard at them and like things about the thing they made, but then also there are people who are fans of those games, and that's cool. Like it's not like I think this is the kind of I don't know if environment is the right word, but that we've had with this show is that like we do tend to want to highlight things that are good about things. Like I don't know. I think people can make things shitting on things all they want, but I think that we try to play things we like and talk about what we like about them a lot of times, and there's a lot to like about a lot of games. And like, this far we've played a lot of games, and I've enjoyed parts of at least all of them and liked most of them quite a bit. And other parts were like, I was less into this, but I found a couple things I liked about it. And I don't know. That's pretty cool. And also, I guess this is one I would feel more than you, since I'm like the Twitter guy. But it's been really cool getting to meet everyone. I think that's been really fun, just getting to talk to people about video games on like a scale that I never have had before or would have dreamed of having. Like, normally, like we talked about earlier, this would be something you and I would talk about. now there's over 1,000 people online who like to talk about these things with us sometimes, which is pretty crazy. Like,
Yeah.
that's
for sure.
not that like expanded my world in a way that I don't know if anything has before, which is pretty cool. And I'm like thankful for that, and even thankful like when we see people download our stuff and be like, cool, people like what we're doing, and like, some of them check it out and leave, and that's fine. But it seems like a lot of people stick around and want to keep dialoguing, which is great. Like, I think that kind of that community aspect that's shown up in this is really cool, and is awesome that we all get to share in things that we like together.
Yeah, totally agree.
Okay, next up is favorite snack and drink for a gaming session.
Ooh. Probably some kind of maybe Skittles. I would say popcorn, but it gets my hands all greasy, so I don't like that. It's a downside. So I'd probably go Skittles, and I don't really drink much, so maybe like water or a pop. I don't know. Don't generally drink stuff that often.
Mine would
Coffee if it's morning for sure.
Mine would be the opposite. I don't really eat when I game, but I'll have some beers or maybe pop. But that's kind of my go-to there.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. Next up is any book or TV shows or movies you'd want a game made out of, or vice versa.
I'd like a Walking Dead game that's actually like based on the show. That would be cool. Like if you could be Rick or Daryl or something in like a RPG-ish style game or something, that'd be sick.
Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun.
I would be like super about that.
Hell yeah. Man, that's hard. Books, TV shows, movies. Yeah, man, that's hard. I feel like I've thought about this before, and now nothing's coming to mind.
I think we did a episode also on this pre-Patreon as like an example of things we'd want to do this. I think we called it like favorite game adaptations we'd want or something. So that could be something people could check out too. Because I think we did have ideas there. Oh,
yeah, man.
Also, an opposite one I would say is I would love to see BioShock as either like a mini series or maybe a movie. I don't know if you could contain it in a movie, but a BioShock on TV would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. Even like Last of Us on a TV show would be really cool too, because it's basically a movie, like the game itself. So that'd be cool to see it as a longer TV show.
They are doing that. HBO is going to do a Last of Us TV show.
Oh, well, there you go. I was right. It's a great idea.
Oh, yeah. And it'll probably be great. I'm super about it.
Damn, hell yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, that'd be great. Next up is favorite video game soundtracks.
All right, I'm gonna cheat and say Life is Strange and Life is Strange 2 probably.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's just hands down.
Yeah, I'd say those for sure. And Before the Storm, I like that one. I like Night in the Woods quite a lot. Those are probably my favorites for sure.
Yeah, those are all really good. Easy. That's more easy.
Yeah.
Cool. What was the most meaningful game moment of your childhood?
Ooh. I don't know if this is a gaming moment specifically, but I remember getting an N64 for Christmas one year, and I remember that was really cool, and being like really psyched about that because I don't think I thought we would get one. Like I think it felt sort of like a far off like wish sort of thing, and when we got one, I remember being pretty stoked about that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I think mostly played a lot of Mario Kart after that, and that was also great.
Mm-hmm. I think mine might be playing Crash Bandicoot for PlayStation 1 at my friend's house. I think it was the first video game I'd played. I think I was young. I forget how old I was.
Hmm.
But yeah, that like stuck out to me. It's like, all right, this is really cool. And I really wanted a PlayStation after that. And then I saved up money, all my allowance for like a long time, and bought a PlayStation 1, I think. I was, real proud of myself. But yeah, that kind of started me off on that direction.
That's awesome. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. An exclusive game that made you want to buy a console. I would say that Animal Crossing New Horizons did this and got me to buy a Switch.
Nice. Okay. I'm going to buy a PlayStation 5 for lots of different games, but like Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man, probably The Last of Us 2. I'd throw that in there too. I feel like I'm forgetting some, but those are the big ones I can think of. Favorite couch co-op or versus game?
I really liked Resistance as a co-op. That was a lot of fun playing that. When the PS3 first came out, I did that with one of my roommates, and we beat that whole game that way.
Oh, nice.
That was a lot of fun. That was good. I really like, like Smash and Mario Kart. Those are pretty fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to steal that and say Smash. Those are really fun to play with people.
Yeah, those are great. Next question, I guess, is pretty similar. Favorite multiplayer games right now? I'm trying to think of anything else multiplayer. I really feel like Smash and Mario Kart are two that I've had the most fun with recently, is playing those on the Switch with people. Yeah, I don't know. I don't play enough multiplayer, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
that's all I can think of is doing those in person. Oh, I guess this is sort of multiplayer. Jackbox games. I really like those. Those are a lot of fun.
Yeah, those are really fun.
Those are great. Pre-COVID, like groups of friends, we'd play those in person together, and that was a blast.
Yeah, those games are really fun, for sure. I'd probably say Smash also. And then one game I haven't played a whole bunch of, but Call of Duty Warzone is like the Call of Duty version of Fortnite, and it's, I think, the best arena PvP game. And I've only played it a few times, like I said, but a bunch of my friends play it, and we'll play it occasionally. I think that kind of makes it even better. But I'm not like the biggest fan of first-person shooters, but that game is pretty enjoyable. I'm not good at it, but to play with friends is a lot of fun.
Nice. Next question. Is it you now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Things that bother you about games you love. I would say, okay, this is one that's probably easier. With Life is Strange, sometimes the animation is fucked up, or like the voice, like the mouth to the voice kind of thing. That happened occasionally. I think also there was like, yeah, I think that would be the big thing, is that there were like actual glitches you could kind of see occasionally, which isn't the worst. It doesn't bother me enough to care about it, but I wish it were better.
Yeah. Man. I can't think of a specific thing I don't like about a specific game, but I will say generally I play a lot of RPGs and like or MM or No. Just really big open world RPGs. And I think an issue that those games typically have is there's always some weird bugs because there's so much content. So I think that's one of the things that bugs me is there's bugs. And the game isn't totally polished when they release it, but it's not terrible. So I think there's when you first buy a big game like that, there's some weirdness to it that eventually gets patched, but I think it's annoying until it does.
That's good.
Let's see. There are 3 games that you take on a lonely island.
Offhand, I'm thinking I would go Horizon Zero Dawn because I like it a lot. Life is Strange for a similar reason, but it's different enough it's really different from Horizon, so I think I would like that. And then I think I'd choose something like Witcher 3, which I haven't played yet, but I know it's really big and would probably occupy a lot of my time.
Yeah, that's a good reason. Let's see. I'd probably go Dark Souls 3 because it's really challenging and it'd always be, I mean, there's ways you can get really good at it, but I think it'd always be somewhat challenging. I also might go I'd go Witcher 3 because it's just gigantic. And then I'd probably also go maybe Skyrim because it's huge.
Yeah.
As well.
No, that'd be good. It seems like having big games would be pretty helpful in a situation like this. Be harder to get bored.
Yep, definitely.
Okay. A game you wish you could play for the first time again.
Oh, easy. Pokemon Red. First Pokemon game.
Ooh.
Yeah, just so much nostalgia, and I remember playing a lot of that when I was little. So yeah, if I could replay it, that'd be amazing. For the first time.
I think I would go with Life is Strange here. And what I would do different is I would go talk to everyone, like do every single thing. When I first played it, I didn't do that because I wasn't new to games, but I was newer. I didn't explore everything like I do now. Now I try to look at everything, and back then I didn't. So I think I would do that and, be surprised and have all the same feelings again for the first time. That would be good.
Yeah, that'd be a good one too. If you had to choose between Life is Strange and Telltale's The Walking Dead, why would you choose Life is Strange? Go ahead.
I think you're right. I would this question. I think I would choose Life is Strange 1 over any Walking Dead. I definitely prefer it to them. It's fantastic, but and I choose it. I think just it brings even more. Even the choice system, I think, in Life is Strange is better than the Walking Dead one. They evolved the Telltale model a little bit. And you have a little more freedom and can do a little more of the great soundtrack. It looks really cool, for being, an old game. I really like how Arcadia Bay looks and, all those things. It's pretty enjoyable. So, yeah, I choose Life is Strange. However, as a caveat, if I had to choose the franchise, though, I would choose Walking Dead because the Walking Dead games, I think, between first season and final season, I definitely like both of those more than Before the Storm and Life is Strange 2. And depending on how Walking Dead Season 2 that we're doing now goes, maybe I would even choose that over them. We'll see.
Yeah, I think I would also pick Life is Strange. I think I like Max and Chloe, the combo there, and I like the soundtrack a lot, and just the power aspect I think is really cool. I think the decisions are maybe not more intense, but I feel like they feel bigger.
Yeah,
to me,
I think so too. I like that. I think that's a good point. Okay, last question we've got here for the Ask Us Anything is, which game do you think is the greatest story ever played?
My opinion is The Last of Us.
I was going to say the same thing.
It's a quick one.
Yeah, I think so too. That's funny. That was easy we had the same answer and didn't talk before. I think Last of Us is the best story in gaming for sure so far that I've played.
I agree.
Maybe a game will beat it, but I think Last of Us has set a high bar.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see going forward. Some game eventually will probably beat it, but right now it's my go-to comparison for other story games.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. So that wraps up our Ask Us Anything. Again, thank you for sending those questions in. So last up, we've got our question of what 3 games would you most like us to cover in the podcast in the future? So the way I answered this was not games that are maybe the most obvious. So, like, it's probably pretty clear that we would cover something like The Last of Us 2, or if they made a new Walking Dead game, or if Life is Strange 3 comes out. Like, those kind of seem like games that we would automatically cover, maybe no matter what. So, with that in mind, I chose Kentucky Route Zero, which is an episodic game that just got put on consoles in January, and is supposedly a really good story game. It's an indie thing, and I think they started making it in something crazy, like 2015 or something, and it's taken like forever to get it all out. But it's all out, and now it's on consoles. So that's pretty high on my list. Next one is A Plague Tale, which is an indie game also, I think, that I think is sort of stealthy like The Last of Us, but it's set in a plague. It sounds really good. And then my last one is Red Dead Redemption 2. After playing the first one a couple months ago, I really liked it and would love to experience it on a even bigger scale and with more modern consoles. So those are my 3.
Cool. Yeah, my 3 are Breath of the Wild, Pokemon Sword or Shield, and Red Dead Redemption 2. So those are all pretty big games, but in Breath of the Wild and Pokemon Sword and Shield aren't like necessarily story-based games, but love Pokemon, and Breath of the Wild's really good, so it'd be fun to talk about that in the podcast for sure.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. Next up, so that's perfect. Those are good. It seems like Red Dead is probably in our future since we both have it. That seems like a game that is especially in our future, but from Andrew on Twitter, we've got Final Fantasy X, Nier Automata, and any Fire Emblem. Radiant Dawn is best, but you'd have to play Path of Radiance first for context.
Nice. Yeah, Fire Emblem's pretty fun.
I'm definitely interested after hearing about them. They seem great.
Yeah, there's one for Switch, I think.
Yeah, I think that's 3 Houses.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that'd be fun to play at some point.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Next up, we got Callum on Twitter. He said The Longest Journey, Dreamfall Chapters, and Mary's Room.
Be good. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Nikki on Twitter. Says Old Man's Journey, Abzu, and Sea of Solitude. And her theme was a lot of sea games. They're all like water-based. And
cool.
Also, I actually recorded an episode on Old Man's Journey after this was written in. I asked this question a little while ago, and I've since recorded an episode. So Old Man's Journey exists now, so go check it out.
Nice. Games and Groceries on Twitter said Gris, Unravel, and Old Man's Journey. So there you go. There's another one for the episode you already have.
Yep. Next up is Cito on Twitter, who says Dragon Age Origins, Alan Wake, and the Nonary games.
Nice. I played Dragon Age Origins. That's really fun.
That's awesome. It's the same people as Mass Effect, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Definitely. Yeah. Rebecca on Twitter said The Council and A Way Out. So we should probably finish A Way Out at some point, because we've started that a while ago.
Yeah, once we can be in person, in the same house, A Way Out for sure. It's going to get done. The bit we played was really fun.
Oh, yeah.
Harley on Twitter says Last of Us 2 and The Force Unleashed 2.
those, we'll definitely do Last of Us 2, and maybe Force Unleashed 2. I played it. It's fun.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Jasmine said Majora's Mask. That's a throwback.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And last up is Roll on Twitter says Nier Automata story and philosophical aspects of that game are just mind-blowing, totally deserving of your time. I've heard Nier is really, really great. That's definitely a game I would like to play someday.
Yeah, me too, for sure. It's on my list.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, I guess that wraps the episode. So, again, everyone, thank you for writing in. That was a lot of fun. I hope you had fun hearing that stuff. It was fun getting to kind of talk about stuff outside of just one specific game. So, I thought that was cool to do, for sure.
Yeah, totally. This was really enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's our episode here. And I'm excited to see what the next 100 bring, I guess. And, maybe that's when we'll do this again. I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, in the meantime, if you want to get in contact with us, you can do that a few ways. You can do that on Twitter at StoryEverPod. Our website is TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed.com, which has all our episodes and other stuff on there available. If you'd like to support the podcast, you could do that at patreon.com/TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed. And for as little as $1 a month, that will give you access to a backlog of topical episodes a little more similar to this, I would say, where we talked about, we ranked the Life is Strange episodes, talked about our favorite Pokemon, stuff like that. Or you could rate and review us on Podchaser or iTunes. That would be super helpful just to, get the word out a little more about our show. That would be cool, just getting to share these games with more of us together. That'd be cool. And, I guess all in all, we'll see you next time.
See ya.